short version of the Parsha Shemos. This week we start the book of Shemos, which literally means the book of names. And throughout this week's Parsha, we actually find quite a bit of naming. Now, a question a person might ask is, why is my Hebrew name so important? What's the significance of that? So the Medrash answers that in the merit of the Jewish people not changing their names, the Jewish people were redeemed from Egypt. So, at least from that statement, you see that there's some gravity behind a person's Hebrew name. But why? Why is that true? Rabbi Victor Miller would always say that, yes, parents call their children sometimes by their English names, and sometimes parents call their children by little nicknames. So, for example, the name Yeshaya, the nickname for that is Shilah. So, a lot of times mothers will call the kid Shilah, Shilah, Shilah. But he said every now and then, make sure you call him Yeshaya. Why? So let's say you have a mother. She has a little kid. He's like 2 years old. She doesn't want him to choke. So what does she do? She cuts up a hot dog into small pieces, or she cuts up grapes in half. And then she calls the kid, and she says, Shaya, Yeshaya, come and eat. Now, the kid's name, Yeshaya, literally means in Hebrew, Hashem help. So why is she cutting up the little grapes and the hot dog in the little pieces? So that the kid doesn't choke, right? So why not, when you call him to eat, you call him Yeshaya? Because now by just saying his name, just calling his name, you're saying Hashem help. And for what? To make sure that he eats nicely. So when you say Shai, Yeshaya, eat, you're literally saying Hashem help you eat. So call him by his Yiddish nomen. Your Jewish name literally has prayers within it. Like my Jewish name is Binyamin. Binyamin, there's different interpretations, but one of them is like a son of the south, because Benjamin was the only one of the 12 tribes to be born in the land of Israel. Well, what a holy name. When parents name their children Benjamin or Binyamin, they're literally saying, may you merit to inherit the land of Israel. May you merit to be somebody who gets to live in the land of Israel, the land of our forefathers, and the promised land. Or when you have a girl and you name her Bat Sheva, which literally translates to as daughter of 7, which to most people makes like no sense. Like, why are people naming their children daughter 7, Bat Sheva? It's my first daughter. So the idea is that there were 3 patriarchs and 4 matriarchs. And what you're essentially saying is that may my daughter be the daughter of those 7 holy people. May she act and be worthy of being called the daughter of those 7 holy patriarchs and matriarchs. So our names, our Jewish names, have tons of significance, and many times they're prayers in and of themselves. So in this week's Parsha, let's connect it to this week's Parsha, we find 2 maidservants. One whose name is Shifra, and the other one whose name is Puah. Now, the Torah says that both of them feared Hashem, and they refused to kill the babies when they were ordered to kill them by Pharaoh. Now, our rabbis tell us who this Shifra and Puah were. And actually, they were mother and daughter. Our rabbis tell us that Shifra was Yocheved, which was Moshe's mother, and Puah was Miriam, Moshe's sister. So then why does the Torah call them Shifra and Puah? Just call them Miriam and Yocheved, right? So Rav Yaakov Kamenetsky, and this is also kind of alluded to in the Bnei Yissaschar, they bring down that this is how Pharaoh operated. This is consistent with him in the Torah. When he sees a Jew with talent, he wants to harness that talent, but he doesn't want to harness it for good. He wants to harness it for his Pharaoh-type reasons, for bad. And Pharaoh knew that most Jewish names, they have either prayers in them or they have strong spiritual qualities. So that's not good. I don't like that. I like the person, but their name, it doesn't fit with what I'm trying to achieve here. So he wanted to de-Judify the person who was working with him while keeping the talent. So, like with Yosef, he stopped calling Yosef Yosef, and he gave him a new name, Safnas Paneach. Sounds very Egyptian, does not sound like a Hebrew name at all. And the idea behind that is that I want to disconnect him from Yosef. That's what these 2 rabbis say. And he did the exact same thing when it came to Miriam and Yocheved. He even went a step further, because if you look at their Egyptian names, Shifra and Puah, they actually really resemble the name Pharaoh. Like the root words of both of those could be arranged in a way so that it looks like the word Pharaoh. And why did he do this? The Pharaoh did this because Pharaoh himself had no problem killing babies. Like, if you would just give the Pharaoh a baby, it says, like, he used to, like, bathe in their blood and stuff. That's what the Medrash says. So he had no problem killing babies. But these two beautiful Jewish girls, of course they would have problems killing babies, right? And he hoped that by naming them after himself, he literally changed their names to resemble Pharaoh, that if I name these two women after myself, they'll be influenced and they'll act like me and they'll start killing babies. Now, with this insight, we can understand another famous question, which is why were these women rewarded so handsomely by Hashem for their actions? A Jew is not allowed to kill another Jew. So there's no test here at all. These women were very righteous women. They weren't influenced at all to kill babies. So why are they praised so much for what they did? But now we have an answer, because Pharaoh changed their essence. He gave them a name that resembles their own name. So they weren't constantly uttering their Jewish names, which have spiritual values to them and have prayers with them. And they were saying these Tuma, disgusting Egyptian names. Became part of their environment. Now, there are other opinions that try to give different explanations of the names, but these are the explanations that I saw from Rav Yaakov and the Bnei Yissaschar, Rav Elimelech Shapira. And so what we see here is the power of names. So may we all live up to the prayers that are within our own names and have a great Shabbos.